So I really wanted to pop in and talk about how to manage your negative thoughts. And I want to talk about this because they come daily. Like a lot of our thoughts are negative. And some of them aren't just negative, they are debilitating. They can prevent us from going after what we want. They can make us feel worthless. They can make us feel like we're not smart enough, like we're not good enough, like we're not pretty enough, like we're not good looking, like we're too fat, we're too skinny, we're too tall, we're too short. Like your brain, it just, yeah, it just comes up with all of this stuff. Um, and 9 times out of 10, the thoughts that are coming in are not accurate. And so you really do have to get good at distinguishing the difference between a fact, a thought that is factual, and a thought that is a false narrative, like a story that you've made up in your mind, or maybe you've been conditioned to think that. Like some people have been just conditioned to think that they're not a good writer, that they're not a good speaker. They've been conditioned to think that nobody wants to hear from them. They've been conditioned to think that they can't start a business because they don't have what it takes, because they're not. So there are a lot of things that are just based on what you've been conditioned to think. And then there are thoughts that just pop in that like literally make zero sense at all. And that happens to all of us, even those who teach this. We recognize that those thoughts do pass through. And I do allow them to pass through. One of the things I do believe, though, is that you can't control them. So there has been, people who say you can control your thoughts. I believe that you can manage them because, again, they just pop up. A lot of it is instinctive. So it may be, again, based on a past experience. Maybe you went after something and didn't get it. And so you're trying to build yourself to go after it again. And the thought just comes in like, why are you even trying to do this? You know what happened the last time. Or your feelings of rejection will pop up and they will stop you from going after what you want to go after. And so I want you to really learn how to determine the quality of your thought. And that's what I really want to stress during this mini training. So the first thing is, again, you want to know whether or not the thought you're having is accurate. So ask yourself, like, is this accurate? And if you hear cars zooming by, I'm literally on a beach balcony and kind of one view is looking at the water and then one view is looking at the city. So you'll hear cars coming by. But is this accurate, right? Is this something that I'm making up in my mind, or is it true? Right? And be honest with yourself, because 9 times out of 10 is not true. It's not true. And it may have been true for the past version of you, but it's definitely not true for this version of you. The other thing is you want to ask yourself, is it helpful? So is this thought helpful to me? Like, this is going to tell me whether or not this is a quality thought. Is it going to build me up, or is it going to tear me down? Is it going to help me to feel better about myself, or is it going to make me feel worse about myself? When you look at whether or not it's helpful, that's a really quick way to determine if this is something you got to let go of. And you have to literally let it go. You cannot fall into the trap of believing every thought that passes through your mind. You can't, because if you do, it's going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you stuck. And so if you want to grow, if you want to try new things, if you want to go after new opportunities, if you want to meet new people and expand your connections and your network and your finances and your relationships, like, you cannot keep thinking the same things you've been thinking. A part of my growth framework is think extraordinary thoughts. And so, is it helpful? Is that thought giving you a solution to a current challenge? Do you have a wonderful idea? Are you telling yourself like, I got this? Are you saying affirmations, or are you beating yourself up? If it's not helpful, let it go. And number three, is it encouraging or discouraging? Oh gosh. If it's discouraging, it definitely has to go. And one of the things I started to do, especially when I got thoughts that I knew were irrational and they were like really throwing me off, I started thinking I need to really have some tangible ways to get out of this mindset. It's got to go, because it's like I could just be doing something like just by myself alone in the bed, or um just driving. Like it could be something really simple, and then the thought will pop in and I'm like, that's gotta go, right? And so if I'm in a place where I can just stop for a minute, I will visualize a stop sign and like, you gotta go, you gotta stop. Sometimes I wear a little wristband. I'll pop the wristband and say, stop it. Like, okay, you gotta immediately stop it. Change the narrative, reframe. This is something I teach my one-on-one coaching clients. Reframe, rephrase that thought. It has to go. And then like if I'm in a place where I'm not really able to just sit down and do all of that, process all of that, something I got that it works wonders for me. So I hope it works for you. It's like the 3 Ds, right? So the first thing is diminish, right? So I'm like, diminish. And I say this out loud, diminish, meaning this thought is going to be diminished. It's not going to have the same impact on me. So every time it comes, even if I hear it, I'm not going to align with it. I'm not going to identify with it. I'm not going to take it in. And the impact is going to begin to get really small and narrow until it doesn't even impact me anymore. And that happens. So a lot of times I'll get that same thought, but it's like, oh well, it's diminished. So I'll say that, diminish, right? The other one is dissolve. So I see the thought in my mind dissolving really quickly. So I'll say diminish, dissolve. And then the 3 D is disintegrate. Ooh. So I'll just say it. I'll say diminish, dissolve, disintegrate. And it's, you gotta go. You gotta go. And then I immediately change and think about something else, do an activity, make a call, do an email, like whatever I need to do, because you're done. You're gone. And so I want you to try that and then let me know what you think, because a lot of times you're just going back and forth with your mind and you're getting frustrated and you're getting depressed or anxious, or you're not in a good mood, and you need a good mood to do well. You need to feel well to do well. And so you've got to figure out what works for you. But those strategies have worked really, really well for me. So again, you can visualize that stop sign, stop, see it. Even I have a picture in my phone of a stop sign. I might have to look at it like, you got to go. And then diminish, dissolve, disintegrate. I'm Dr. Jessica Houston, founder of expectingvictory.com. Again, if you find that those are helpful for you, if you find this video is helpful for you, don't be selfish. Share it with someone else who can use it. Until next time, take care.